Welcome to Eat Your DNA. Join me as I start my healthy eating journey based on my DNA and ancestry. My name is Angela, and my philosophy is that our DNA is our personalized blueprint to healthier living. If you've ever struggled to figure out which foods to eat, you're in the right place. You can stop guessing and worrying about what to eat or trying to follow the latest fad diet. Let your genetics tell you which foods you should eat. Eat your DNA. So today I'm super excited because I'm going to share with you why I started this channel and what eating your DNA is all about. Make sure to stay to the end where I'll tell you how to get some information that could help you whether or not you choose to eat your DNA or not. Anyway, let's go. So you would think in this modern day and age, figuring out what to eat would be easy. There's plenty of information out there, right? We have diets and plans and philosophies, and most of us are blessed in that we can just go down the street or get on the internet and order whatever kind of food we want. It should be easy, but it's not. It's because we have so many choices that it becomes difficult to make the right choices. It's called paralysis analysis. There's low carb, there's keto, there's Mediterranean, there's vegetarian. Perhaps like me, you just wondered, what should I eat? So a few years ago, I started to really struggle with this. I'm getting older and things are falling apart. Type 2 diabetes runs in my family, and sure enough, I got that. Felt horrible a lot of the time. I was constantly tired and sore. I was gaining weight. My sleep was messed up. I was blaming my dog for my sleep. I was having problems and issues. So, I work out and I try to eat clean, but, my results were hit and miss. And like I said, I was overwhelmed with a lot of new information, and what I had been doing stopped working. I knew I had to do something. And it's funny because I've always had some ideas about what I should eat and things that seemed intuitive and obvious, but I wouldn't follow them. So like, for example, I always thought that you should only eat foods that are in season, but then in December, here I am eating some strawberries. Like, it makes sense to eat strawberries in December. So anyway, I came across some articles and some documentaries about people who stopped eating their native diet. So you know the story. Group of people, healthy, living somewhere, they've lived there for tens of thousands of years, and then people show up, missionaries or colonists or whoever it is, explorers, and as soon as the indigenous population starts eating a new diet, their health begins to decline. They have all kinds of medical issues, they gain weight, their lifespan shortens. It's a sad tale, and unfortunately it's all too common. So one day it just all came together for me. Angela, you should eat where you're from. I'm not going to get into a debate about evolution, but it just seems obvious that a group of people would become used to and effective at using and metabolizing foods that have grown near them for tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of years. And things are not going to go well when they stop eating those foods. So anyway, I was like, okay, I'm going to eat where I'm from. Where am I from, really? Not just where I think my people are from, but where am I from exactly? I got my DNA done with AncestryDNA to see, where I was originally from and which foods I should be eating. And I'll tell you, when you get your DNA done, you find out your countries of origin. And I was really surprised by those results. I know I'm African American, but what does that even really mean? I didn't know which countries in Africa I was from until I got my results. I also had no idea about the other parts of the world that my ancestors came from. All kinds of interesting countries popped up on my list. And I definitely learned a lot of new information about myself and my family, which is why I recommend that people get their DNA done, even if they don't decide to start eating from those places. Anyway, I started looking into the foods from my countries of origin, and that's when my whole life changed. First of all, I realized that I was hardly eating any of the foods from my countries of origin except for rice. And secondly, I learned that many of the foods that we think are from an area or country actually originate someplace else, maybe from the other side of the world. Where our food comes from and where it ends up is, like my grandmother used to say, more than an ocean. The globalization of food is absolutely crazy. And here's an example. Let's say you've gotten your DNA done and one of your countries of origin is Italy. So you think, okay, Italian food, okay, they eat a lot of tomatoes, so I should eat tomatoes, right? But guess what? Tomatoes are not indigenous to Italy or even Europe. So this doesn't mean that you can't eat tomatoes, but just realize that it may not be one of your indigenous vegetables based on your DNA. So I did a lot of research and started to slowly eat more foods based on my DNA and ancestry, and the results have been great. I feel better, I hope I look better, and I have the data to tell me that I am healthier than I was. So this is what I want for everyone. I want everyone to have the knowledge and the pride and the information to just be a little bit healthier. I want you to be as excited as I am about your ancestry and learning about the best foods for your body. It's fun, it's liberating, and it's not that difficult because I'm not going to ask you to follow, and I'm not going to follow another crazy diet plan where you have to completely change your life and give up your favorite foods. What I'm doing and what I'm hoping is that you look into where you're from and maybe just add a few new foods or recipes to your life to make your body happy and honor your ancestors. So I've done the research so you don't have to. Tell me where you're from and I can tell you which foods are indigenous to those areas. And then you can decide how much or how little little you want to eat based on your ancestry. Or you can just watch me as I do it, as I try to incorporate my indigenous foods into my diet. So if you're ready to find out exactly where you're from and get a list of foods based on your DNA, look below for a list of companies that I have used. Some of them I've used and I've recommended and I've done the research, and just go ahead and decide if that's something you want to do. But whether you do or not, be sure to visit eatyourdna.com and you can get a checklist. This is the free thing that I promised you, what to do while you wait for your DNA results. It's good information whether or not you're getting the DNA test or not, and it's totally free. So thank you for joining me. Hope to see you soon, and don't forget, eat your DNA.